what's up everyone? My name's William and today we're going to be going over automation in Logic Pro X. In the last video we went over some of the automation modes and we went over how to view automation, but today we're going to be going over how to actually automate things, how to write in automation and how to change different parameters using automation. We're going to even go over how to automate parameters using a MIDI keyboard. So let's just jump right in. First of all, I'm going to press the A button on my keyboard so we can open up our automation view. It shows us what's being automated. First of all, when it comes to automation, one thing we can always do, no matter what mode we're in, is we can double click to create these points. Now, when we create these points, we can click and drag them around and automate like this. Right now I'm automating volume just because that was the parameter that was selected. An easy way to change parameter that you want to automate is clicking on this dialog box and changing through the different parameters. I'm just going to be mainly I'm going to mainly be automating volume today for the track just because it's easy to hear the difference. It's a very clear thing that all of us are familiar with, obviously. So we're going to be working with that. So we can simply, click and drag points around to draw. We can also just highlight and delete as I did. But another way to, automate things is if we change our mode to one of the other modes we've gone over, if I change it to touch, for example, and if I play this clip here and I adjust the volume fader as it's playing, it's going to be actually automating the volume fader while it's playing. So I'm just going to press the space bar to play and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So as you can see what just happened, every time I clicked and dragged this volume fader, it was writing automation points for, the automation, or is writing automation points for the volume, excuse me. And we got a ton of these little tiny points, kind of like the ones I was drawing in, except there's a ton of them. There is absolutely an insane amount of them. And that's because we actually, dragged the volume fader as it was playing. It's much more accurate this way, except it also, it just creates a lot of points. So if you're trying to edit automation afterwards by, clicking and dragging points around and even maybe deleting a few, it gets a little bit trickier since there is so many. So that's something to keep in mind when automating. And of course, since we were in touch mode, as soon as I let go of the parameter, it went back to the default value of negative 0.6 decibels. So that's the second way we can use to automate parameters in our track. The last way is actually using our MIDI keyboard. And of course, these methods can be used with both instrument and audio tracks. So for our last method, we're going to be using our MIDI keyboard here. I'm just going to use a knob on the MIDI keyboard. In order to set that up, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our preferences in Logic. And we're going to go to our automation tab in our preferences. So click on that. And we have this option that is automation quick access. We have to make sure this is on. It allows us to use a hardware controller to automate, whatever we want to automate using our controller. So what we can do is we can just click Learn Message here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my controller, and I'm actually turning my knob on my controller now. So I'm turning my knob. So it says slowly move or turn the control up and down of the knob or control that we want to assign this automation quick access to. And once we've done that, we click done. And that's as simple as that for setup. So now whatever we're automating is being controlled by this knob that I've assigned. So whether it's volume right now, or if I changed it, to panning, you can see the panning is changing now. It's because it's not controlling that one specific parameter, it's controlling whatever we're automating. So, and the same thing, you know, if I play this and move my knob, it's going to be automating it as it's playing along, and it's going to be writing in that automation data. And one thing to keep in mind, especially when using modes like touch, when working with knobs, it actually takes a bit for it to register that you're not moving it anymore. So it takes a bit to go back to the default value. So that's just something to keep in mind. But that's actually the basic few ways to write in automation data. You can click in points. I mean, you can also draw points in with the pencil tool. It's pretty similar to drawing it in when it's playing. You know, edit them with your mouse, click and drag, points around, highlight, delete, move them around. You can also change points. You can change whole lines if you click and drag the line. I didn't mention that, but that's something else to keep in mind. So if you don't want to drag just a single point, you can drag an entire line. And of course you can automate, you know, as it's playing the clip or MIDI file. And lastly, you know, you can use a external controller in order to control the automation parameters. So I hope you learned a lot in this lesson. I hope you you know, have a little bit better insight as to how automation works in Logic. Again, my name is William. Thanks for watching.